Hi guys, welcome back. I can't believe we're up to the egg already. Okay, this is the comprehensive blending course and we're doing the egg. Today I have gotten out the larger of the eggs because it's going to be easier for you to do this technique. Now, why did I choose the egg? Well, it's not just to teach you how to do an egg. I'm going to be teaching you skills. Every one of my classes that I teach in this blending course builds on previous information, and you begin with the 6 videos that I put in the paperwork. If you haven't watched them in order, I recommend going back and watching from the first one and then going all the way up to the cherry and then taking the cherry all the way up to the egg. Each week you're learning a different skill. If you're doing the course and you're watching this egg today, but you're only up to maybe 2 lessons before this, don't be frustrated. I teach you a lot in those lessons that build up to this. So what is the lesson to be learned in the egg today? Well, today we're going to learn how to do white. We're going to be working on translucent, and we're going to be going back to the core of this course, and that's the hole, the divot, and the bump. Those are the 3 things that if you could take away from this course, how to do a good bump, a good hole, and a good divot, you've walked away a better artist. If you're interested in beginning the course is in the description box below. You can jump in at any time, begin it, and then continue on from there. You don't have to wait for something to come around and me to finish and then start again. I have a playlist with all the pertinent videos to this course, and all you have to do is go to my channel page, push that playlist, and you'll see it there under the CMW Comprehensive Coloring course. So today we're going to be starting the egg, and at this point you're considered intermediate. There's going to be things that you're going to have to purchase. It's just to progress in your skills. Now, I'm going to give you what I'm using on this egg, and I'm going to give you your alternatives. They're all good alternatives. You can use them all. Today, we're going to begin by doing tone. We have to tone the paper properly to be able to get the effect that we want in the translucent egg. And that begins with tonal paper. I'm using the Spring Hill Digital Gray, and they have it in white. It's excellent paper. It goes right through my printer, so there's no problems there, and it has some really nice tooth. In addition to the gray being a tonal boost, and it'll make the white stand out more, we're going to tone this part of the egg. We're going to actually be toning the whole egg, but we're going to begin with toning this part of the paper. And the color that I'm choosing to tone it with is peach beige. There are several ways that you can tone your paper, and we'll talk about a few of them right now. First, you can use your peach beige pencil from Prismacolor, or anything close to it. And this is one where I was testing the colors out, so don't mind. It's already been used. This is the color. Look at it closely. It is a beigey color. It's got a little bit of brown in it, a little bit of peach in it, but it's mostly beige. So if you're using another pencil set, you're going to choose the closest to beige that you can get. Okay? And that's going to be a tonal value underneath everything, even though we're going to be coloring completely over it. Because of the nature of the Prismacolor or the wax pencil, you need to tap that down into the paper. And you can do that using a marker, a Prismacolor marker. This one's a little bit dirty. It's got gray on it. Try to clean it up as much as possible. It's not going to matter because we're going to be using gray in this anyway. That's why it's gray. So you're going to put like 2 layers of the peach beige down. It has to be at least 2 layers. And then you're going to go over the whole thing with the blending marker. And you'll see it does turn very marker looking, like you've used marker on the page. And that's normal for a blending pen. And we're going to let that dry really well. Give it a good half hour to dry. If you own markers, I'm going to be using the Prismacolor Blonde Wood. That is the match for Peach Beige. And you can see it here. It's a little darker, but that's going to lighten up. It's because it's wet. Once that dries, it's going to match pretty much comp over to the Peach Beige. So this is the color I'm going to be using, or you can use this. Once you've used a blending pen over the wax, you're not going to be able to change that. You're not going to be able to blend. You'll be able to write over it. I prefer the marker because it preserves the tooth in the paper. For as much tooth as you could preserve, you always want to do that. If you don't want to do it either way, what you can also do is use a fixative spray, but you have to make sure it's a workable fixative, and you will fix this color to the paper so that you can't blend this color out. It's not going to affect the white. If you don't do these steps to fix the color into the paper, your white is going to turn beige. It's going to turn a lighter shade because Prismacolor blends. So I'm going to work with this, and we'll get back to the next step. I finished toning up the bottom of the paper, and over here and over here look a little darker because I did 2 layers of the marker. You're going to hold the paper now with the darker edge down here and the smaller edge up here. Okay, that's the orientation of the paper now. This is a fixed. You've either used your fixative or your pen or your marker pen. I used marker, but I've got a tone. It's going to look darker than what it normally looks because now I have tone on tone. My paper is giving me color, and my one layer of marker on here has given me 1 layer. Now when I go to use my white, and I'll do it a little bit over here, look how nicely the white stands out. As a lesson to be learned, whenever you're doing a white object, it works best if your background is darker. And that's how you get a nice white. That's generalized with white. You don't worry so much about your white as you worry about darkening up everything that's behind it. If everything around it is dark, your white will automatically show up. I've brought up a picture from Google of a fried egg. I'm going to use this as a reference picture. Even though it doesn't 100% match the picture that I'm doing, I'm going to be able to see all the divots and the crevices and the colors and apply them to my paper. I'm going to start out using my 50% warm gray. And what I'm going to do is hold my pencil way back here, and I want to make light shadow marks. And I'm following where the picture sort of has them. But since this isn't really a one-on-one picture, you're free to shadow it up the way you want to. And I want to keep these very, very light because I'm going to blend them up with the white. And I want to make sure it's very easy to blend. I'm using the side of my pencil, not the point of the pencil. So I'm going to put you on hyperlapse for a minute, and I'm going to shadow this whole picture up. Now that I have the beginnings of some shading going on in the egg, I'm going to take my white pencil and I'm going to blend up everything and get that going. This is, remember, first layer. I'm not worrying about details at this point. Last week when we were doing material and folds, I told you guys that putting a light next to a dark directly without a gradient is going to make it look like it's a raised or it's a sharp turn. So now I want to add in some pock marks, like if you're cooking an egg, makes like little bubbles and then the bubbles burst and the albumin stays in the form of a bubble. So we're going to do the same thing on here now that I have like a good base. And I did one over here. And this is the general shading in and out. Now I'm going to go into more details. So I'm going to take, this is a 30% cool gray. And I'm going to make sort of like a circle. And it's not a round circle. Then I'm going to take my white pencil and I'm going to put it around the rim on it. I'm going to basically shade it going up. Then the bottom part over here, not the top part, but the bottom part, I'm going to add some white into that gray. Then I'm going to take my pencil again, and I'm going to darken up on the top, which is right next to the white. Now, if you want that divot to go all the way in, you can then get out with this being a 30, you can get out a 50%, and just right at that edge, darken it up, just like that. Now I know how to make all the pock marks that go into the egg. And I'm going to do that, or I'm going to follow what my reference picture is. Basically putting things in so that it looks like it's a natural egg. I'm also going to make these different sizes. Some of them are going to be really tiny. And some will be a little bit squarish. It will be all the way the bubble pops and the size of the bubble. But I'm going to do it in the same exact way each time. I'm going to start adding in two things, Posca and gel pen, because I want to take the white even higher up. This will give you like a translucent white, the white pencil. I want to take my Posca, and in some areas I'm going to use my gel pen when I want to get a really thin area. The areas that I'm making hyper white, really white, are going to end up making it look glossy. But since I'm basically working on this edge, I'm going to start adding in some more colors. And I'm going to get out my canary yellow, a light umber, my goldenrod, and then I'm going to get out a sienna brown, which I have to go find. So I'm going to start with my goldenrod because the egg needs to look like it was cooked and not gray. And I'm going to start adding in areas that I want browner, and that will be also on the edges. And I don't want too overdone, but you do it to the color that I guess you like eggs. And I'm also going to add in some umber into the gray. to make it look cooked instead of moldy. So it looks like the egg is only got a little bit of white, like the bubble popped, and it only has a small layer of translucent albumin on the bottom. And I'll just keep on adding my white until I like the way it looks. So like on this one, where I added it in. You could switch it up between the dark umber and the goldenrod, depending on what you like, what you prefer, what the picture looks like. Now, in some areas, I'm going to add, and I'll do it over here, I'm going to add in a lot of little bubbles. Because sometimes with the eggs, you get a lot of little bubbles instead of like big popped bubbles. While I'm still working on the white, I'm going to take my sunburst yellow and I'm going to do the same thing to the inside, but with sunburst yellow being the tone that I'll be working over. Now this would be good if I had cracked the yolk and the yolk was dripping. So we need to build that up and make it a dome. And I'm going to do that by using dark around the outside and light on the middle. I'm going to start out using my canary yellow. And I'm going to just get some tones going in it. Okay, I got some orange, sunburst yellow, and orange mineral. So that should be enough. And we're going to just make a ball. So as you can see, the longer you work at this and the more little details you put in, the more realistic the picture becomes. Now, I could work on this for another couple of hours actually, but this video is getting very long and I've kind of given you as much instruction how to do this. I'm adding in, sorry about my birds, cut it out. When I talk, the flock talks, so they have to talk too. I added in some gray for a shadow, very lightly, over here and over here. And don't forget to do your occlusive shadow, which is right up next to where the egg meets the paper, and then you take it out further. So I'm going to work on this probably for another 2 hours and snap a picture of it. If there's anything that I need to give you as far as hints on doing this, I will come back, but for the most part, I'm going to just snap a picture and let you see the final. Just at the edge, this is a hint at the edge, don't make it a flat line going around. Come in and make it irregular, because eggs aren't really that smooth when you look all the way up and you want to get it realistic. Right now I'm working with a dark brown pencil. I hope you enjoyed this. Remember, if you want to start the course, jump right in. The link is in the description. I'm available to you guys all the time. By the time you see the picture, I probably will have added some pepper flakes to it because you need some seasoning. Take care. I will see you in my next video.